Alright, what's going on, guys? Try back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing another video for Fear the Walking Dead. In this one, we're going to give our thoughts on some comments from original showrunner for Fear the Walking Dead, Dave Erickson, on that mid-season finale death. And I'll put the link in the description to uprocks.com where you guys can go ahead and check out this article. So there's some interesting stuff here after the Season 3 finale, and some things that they point to that Dave Erickson, who was the original showrunner for Fear the Walking Dead for the first 3 seasons, has said about these characters. And then there was a tweet from him as well that we'll go into, and then we'll get into a few of your guys' questions afterwards, but just a few for today. So the original showrunner, and kind of the way I'm viewing this right now, this pretty much confirms for me that the Season 3 finale for Fear the Walking Dead is a true series finale for that initial Fear the Walking Dead companion series. So the initial Fear the Walking Dead spin-off that started a few years ago. At this point, we're in Season 4, so it'll be like 3.5 years ago, because they did the first 2 seasons in it was like 1 year. They really pumped those out quickly. So the first 3 seasons of Fear the Walking Dead, the 3rd season being basically what is a series finale for that original Fear the Walking Dead series. And then what we're seeing now in Fear the Walking Dead Season 4, I feel like is really a new take on that series, or basically a reboot or a reinventing of that show with Morgan at the forefront, and just keeping a few characters from the first Fear the Walking Dead series. Really, I'm surprised they actually called it Season 4 and they didn't even kind of just rename it something else entirely, because really it isn't Fear the Walking Dead anymore. I mean, it has the title and the episodes fit in together like that, where the survivors in the first half of Fear the Walking Dead Season 4, I mean, they are the same survivors from the first 3 seasons, but with a new show-running team here and with a different vision of what the show is going to be, really the thing has gone in a totally different direction from what Dave Erickson, the original showrunner, had planned for Fear the Walking Dead, so his original vision of where it was going here. So it says, it's abundantly clear as well that Goldberg and Chambliss did not take Fear the Walking Dead into the direction that Dave Erickson would have preferred. In Erickson's post-mortem with The Hollywood Reporter after the Season 3 finale, the departing showrunner was specific about one thing. When asked who would have lived through your version of the series finale, he said, "For me, Madison. For me, there's a lot left for Madison specifically." Erickson's statement was practically a plea to the incoming showrunners to keep his favorite character around. So it sounds like to me, had Dave Erickson continued to be running Fear the Walking Dead, Madison would have survived to the very end of the series, and even have survived the series finale. So she would have been a character that literally would be maybe even some ways different from Rick of The Walking Dead, where, as we're seeing right now with The Walking Dead in Season 9, we're likely to see Andrew Lincoln and Rick either leave or be killed off, and basically exit the show, at least for a little while, or maybe indefinitely, depending on how they go with that. But with Madison, basically he's saying here that from his original vision, this group of characters was Fear the Walking Dead, and Madison was a character that was supposed to be alive in the very last episode of the series, as per his original vision. Then it says here, as we know, however, Chambliss and Goldberg ignored Erickson's wishes for the show and killed off Madison Clark in the 4th mid-season finale, a decision that has been met with very mixed reaction from fans of the series. However, Erickson, for his part, was all class about the death of Madison, paying tribute to Kim Dickens without passing judgment on the decision itself to kill her off. And then it says, so the tweet, "Hello all, I don't often do this, but I wanted to offer a belated and humble thanks to all of you who supported Fear, and specifically those who support Kim Dickens and her realization of Madison Clark." And then it says, too, "Kim's an amazing actor, layered and subtle in performance, but she's also a gracious and compassionate human being. I'm fortunate to have worked with her, more fortunate to call her a friend. Peace." I like how he's kind of saying in the first part of the tweet, "Hello all, I don't often do this tweet, but I wanted to offer a belated and humble thanks to all who've supported Fear, and specifically those who support Kim Dickens and her realization of Madison Clark. But thanks to all those who supported Fear. Because I kind of feel like in what he's saying there is, it's like, Fear's over. I mean, like thank you for supporting the series. Thank you for it feels like a kind of with the way he's kind of phrased this here, it kind of feels like, for those who have supported Fear, because basically the series is over. Like, that series or that version of Fear is over. So thank you, those who have supported that, because that initial version of Fear, we got to see kind of the end of that. We got to see the finale for that initial series with Madison actually being killed off. Now you're basically going past. You're seeing Fear the Walking Dead continue on further in a point of view that even goes on past further where Dave Erickson kind of wanted the series to go and where he wanted the series finale to actually end. So it was never his intention in the run of the show for us to ever see Madison be killed off. It was supposed to be kind of, it sounds to me like, if there was kind of a happy ending, or whatever the ending happened to be, she would still be alive in the very finale of it. So that's why I think we should really treat Season 3 as it is actually the finale of that original series, and then Season 4 is basically, allowing the series to continue by passing it over to a new group and a new version, basically. So that's interesting stuff. He doesn't say anything in this article about Nick, and I haven't checked his Twitter to see if he did tweet about Nick at all, and in Nick's death in, of course, the first half of Season 4. But the thing about that is that he would have known beforehand that Nick wanted to leave. Like, Frank Delane wanted to leave, and he had been asking to leave the show for a little while. So he would have known going into this season probably that Frank or Nick was going to be killed off, because he wanted to be. He would have known that. That's probably why he didn't really say anything about it, or there haven't been any interviews about Nick departing the show that I can remember, because he wanted to leave anyway. So it's not like that would have been unbeknownst to him that Nick was going to be leaving at some point. But I do find it kind of interesting to me as an original, fan of Fear the Walking Dead, when it originally, premiered those seasons ago with Season 1, Episode 1, that he intended to have Madison live all the way through the series. So in some ways, it's kind of unfortunate that we didn't get to see his take all the way through Fear the Walking Dead, but they had a good 3-season run there. He had to leave for whatever reason it was. I'm not sure exactly why that was. They don't always make public why you have certain people. They said something about him basically going to be starting some new shows for AMC and working on some other stuff that they want him to work on. So it's like, okay, cool, fine. But we don't know if he was strong-armed into that. We don't know if he wanted to do that, if that was his own kind of, maybe he had a great opportunity. So he decided, okay, I'm going to, I'll hand this over to someone else now. It's been bootstrapped, so you guys can take it from here, and I'm going to move on to something else. But it is kind of crazy to me that they didn't even kind of adhere, the new showrunning team didn't adhere to his wishes for what he wanted and amalgamate what he wanted Fear to be with what they wanted it to be. Because you would tend to think with them coming in after 3 full years, 3 full seasons of that show, that they would probably be like, okay, we're going to add on Morgan, we're going to add on all these different elements and change these things around, but we're still going to stay true to what the original vision was. They have not done that. So they're basically throwing out that old Fear the Walking Dead kind of initial story in how it was intended to go through. So just a few comments about this one, and you guys can for sure leave your comments below on how you feel about this one, and kind of knowing now that the original direction for Fear was to have Madison survive to the very end. Chooch Allah says, to me, Kim Dickens did not look happy about basically being fired off the show. They look like sitting ducks on the couch on Talking Dead, and the Strand and Alicia actors look nervous about it all. And that's one thing about watching Talking Dead after that episode, is that especially when Alicia says that, she was with Chris Hardwick, and that he was talking about some of the deaths or whatever with Nick, and she didn't want to say anything because she's like, oh, you have no idea. But the way she said it actually made me feel like there's more to come. You know what I mean? Like there's more deaths coming up. That the way I read it, and I could be wrong about that, but I'm usually pretty good at reading what people are really saying through the words. What it sounds to me like she's saying when she says that on Talking Dead is like, it felt like she was saying that you have no idea, because this isn't even the end of it. Like, there's more character deaths for the original Fear series than even what you're thinking. So that's where the death predictions for the second half kind of came in. And if you guys haven't seen that video, I'll have it in the end screen videos for you here, so you can watch that and you can hear which characters I think are going to be killed off in the second half, which does contain some of the original group as well too, since it's only down to 3. But even still, it does contain some of them. Dominic Ambrosio says, Q&A, if Madison is killed off, how can Fear the Walking Dead survive after that? Well, the deal is that the way I view it, my point of view in this one, is that it doesn't. You know, the original Fear the Walking Dead does not survive anymore. It's dead now. It's been killed. You know, what we're seeing now is a new series. It might be under the same name or the same kind of umbrella, but, you know, make no mistake about it, it is a new show. Morgan and Friends, whatever you want to call it, you know, it is a new series, and it's not, yeah, it doesn't survive it. You know, the original vision for Fear the Walking Dead, it has not survived. That vision is dead with, you know, Nick, of course, okay, but then Madison for sure. Clearly this is a different show. Clearly this is a different reboot and a different team and everything different, right? So it doesn't survive Madison being killed off. Instead, what it is it's a totally new series. Jordan Lamont says, unbelievable, Trev. You should know better as well. The problem is everyone wants their hero to survive in the Walking Dead world, but when the Walking Dead started, Trev, you used to say, I love how no one is safe in this show. I think Fear is doing something that is great. You don't have a lead character, or just as you're thinking, there's one, they kill him or her. To me, I knew in the first episode they basically brought in the group to take over the old one. So I think he's talking in the first episode of season 4 here, Jordan Lamont. So that is true in the beginning of the Walking Dead series. I did love to say how no one is safe and they could kill off literally anybody, and that's really exciting. But I think over time, as you get attached to certain characters, you want to see a nice story play through as well too. There are certain characters that you don't necessarily want to see killed off, and I feel like with The Walking Dead, they've kind of tilted a little bit more towards that kind of no one is safe. Is motif the right word, or no one is safe idiom? And killing off, you know, characters kind of for the point or the purpose because you didn't think they would. Like, it really feels like in these last couple years for the Walking Dead television series, and Fear the Walking Dead as well too, it feels like they're killing off characters because you think those characters are safe. Like, they're going for the characters that you wouldn't think they would be able to kill off. So they're killing off in the Walking Dead original TV series Carl in season 8, which is a character that you never think that they would. You never thought that they would kill off, and they do it almost, it seems, because you wouldn't think that they would. So they're kind of doing it on purpose to kill off the characters that would make for a nice story, and in some ways kind of wrecking what, you know, what you kind of would want to see for a nice story. So that's kind of where I'm at right now, and it is cool that no one is safe and everything like that, and it's exciting and all that, and you don't know what's going to happen, so that's exciting. But at the same time, over these years that go through, you know, I think at a certain point the shock factor starts to wear off of them killing off certain characters. And at a point you just want to see like a nice story, to see some happiness for some of these groups. And you don't just want to see, you know, all the leads be killed off and all the characters that, you know, think are having a nice story kind of develop and go through here just be killed like crazy. Louisville, UAV, and our last one here says, Madison is the reason I do not watch the show. So for people who didn't like Madison in the series and Fear the Walking Dead, you know, for those of you, you know, congratulations, you got what you wanted. They killed her off. So now you can enjoy Fear the Walking Dead without her. And if you did not like that original group, no problem now, because they've basically been replaced, pretty much. So that's it for this video, guys. Let me know how you're feeling about Fear at this point. I know it's a bit later now. I probably should have done this video earlier, but, you know, can only get so much done so fast. And I did think it was important for fans of Fear, and especially those who followed it for the first 3 years and watched every episode through, on the original vision of Fear the Walking Dead, Season 3 being looked at, in my mind, as a actual series finale for that original Fear series, and Season 4 a revamp or a reboot, or creating a new series out of that old one, out of the ashes of the old one, is basically what we're seeing happen. Let me know what you guys think. Leave your comments below, and if you like this video, please thumb it up below. You can also share, you can favorite, and if you're new and you want to support the channel, then please subscribe at the bottom left. That's it for this one. See you guys again soon for another video. As always, it's Trev. I'm saying peace. Later, guys. See you soon.